Hi friends, so this is all about processor, right? So in this video also we are going to discuss some important processor concepts, right, related to Apple M1 processor versus Intel processor, right? So before that we need to know that what type of processor these two things, right? Okay, Intel is a CISC based processor. What is the meaning of CISC based processor? It's a complex instruction set processor. But if it comes to the Apple M1 processor is a ARM based processor. Already this processor type is there in the market. There is a comparison between ARM processor versus an Intel processor. Now this ARM processor is the base for Apple M1 processor, right? Okay. So when this company started manufacturing the chip, right, processor, right? Okay. Apple started its chip journey in 2007, right? Their first processor is APL0098. So this processor, they started using it in the iPhone and iPad. Right, okay, but if it comes to the Intel, so Intel started their processor journey in 1968. The company founded in 1968, but the first processor came into the picture during the year of 1971. But they didn't manufacture the first processor. So this first processor, they bought it from this Japanese calculator company, right? Okay, the processor name is 4004. After that, the Intel started their own processor, right? This is all about when they started their journey, Apple and the Intel, right? Okay. So what is the major difference between these two processors, right? Okay. Here in the reduced instruction set architecture, right? That is M1 processor. Apple M1 processor using that is register to register, so not related to the Apple M1 processor, but RISC architecture using the register to register operation. But if it comes to the CISC, right, complex instruction set architecture, using that memory to memory operation, right? Okay. So here during the process, Apple M1 processor using very less number of transistors. But if it comes to the Intel processor, Intel using the large amount of transistor during the processing, right? Okay. But here in the Apple M1 processor using very less data type. But if it compares to the Intel using the large number of data types. Okay. But if it comes to the execution type, here it's a single clock execution. But if it comes to the Intel, it's a multi-clock execution. Right? Okay. So what is the major difference here? It uses the reduced instruction set, right? Okay. So it uses the very less amount of memory space, right? It gives, right, in the Intel processor, it occupies more amount of registers. But if it comes to the M1 processor, it occupies very less amount of register, and same time any number of registers you can put your own index, right? The register index can be changed, right? It may be a general purpose register or data register or address register, something like that. And same time in the M1 processor, that is a RISC based processor, it uses the reduced addressing mode, right? The addressing mode is very simple. But it comes to the Intel processor, it uses the complex addressing mode, right? So these are the major information related to this Apple M1 processor and the Intel processor, right? One more information I want to tell you that you may heard about this particular processor, right? Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. So this Snapdragon processor also a ARM based processor, right? Okay. So ARM based processor means again it comes under the RISC architecture. Right, so this is all about the processor, right? So stay tuned. In the next video, we will discuss about related to the what is major advantages, right? RISC based architecture or CISC based architecture, how the performance may differs from one processor to other processor, which processor I need to choose, right? All these things. Thank you.